Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode number 19 of NascardRadio. Your pal Val, and with me is the amazing Jason. Jason, how are you?
Doing well, Val. How are you?
I'm doing good. Considering it's been a little bit since we've been on, a lot has changed in the world of sports. But I'm so happy to be recording. I really enjoy it. How are you been?
Doing good. It's definitely crazy. Most people know I'm a baseball freak, so it's especially hard right now for me not having that going on. But at least there's been a few things starting. The Jordan ESPN thing starts tonight, so we've got a few things going on.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that. I've actually set the DVR to record those. Before I was collecting NASCAR, I was doing all the other sports too. So I was glad to be watching basketball during that time, and actually went to a playoff game when the Hornets played the Bulls. So that's one of the highlights for me for basketball. So, but yeah, as a baseball fan, I imagine even then, even me, I'm looking forward to baseball and the sports starting up. Now we have, I don't know if you caught any of them, iRacing. So we've had races every Sunday in NASCAR. They count it as an exhibition, I guess. And Jeff Gordon and Mike Joy are commentating, announcing it. So it's really cool. I don't know if you caught any of it.
I have seen some, and I think the first week it started, I caught it by accident. I didn't realize that was what was happening. It was really weird because I looked and I was like, this looks like a video game. What's going on? And I had to do some research, and I had no idea that they had started that. I'll give them credit for trying to do something and keep the drivers involved and keep fans involved. But for me personally, it's one of those things where it's hard to watch a little bit. Just it's that thing of I know it's not real, So I give them all the credit in the world, but it's tough for me.
So then on me, when I'm watching it, sometimes I forget that I'm watching a video game. iRacing's been around for quite a while. I think Dale Jr. said he's been doing it for 20 years at least. And actually, just a couple months ago, they had gone up to Wilkesboro to clean off the track to map it for the iRacing. So I know that it's really close to regular racing. Granted, you don't have all the impacts and everything else, but they do have some seats that have movement and stuff. And William Byron actually learned how to drive. And so William Byron is, running for Rick Hendrick, filled in. He's running the 24 for Jeff Gordon, or Chase Elliott, who moved. But I feel that that he learned how to drive in the iRacing. So it's pretty close to the real thing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's something I had not heard. So that's interesting for me to find out that, one of the top young guys that's how he learned. Yeah,
it's pretty incredible. Maybe we can we'll do a subject on that one time. And I don't know if you remember, but last year at the end of the year, they had NASCAR awarded their first e-racing championship. I can't remember the gentleman's name offhand, but I think he won like $40,000, and they did the final at Homestead like the regular Cup driver. So I knew NASCAR was getting into the iRacing. And I guess this whole pandemic and thing played right into that. So, or they were able to jump quick into that. But that's enough about that. So we got a great show today. We're going to talk about the 2020 NASCAR season so far and our current winners. They're looking maybe to get back racing in the end of May. We got confirmation of the 2020 racing product that are coming out this year. We're going to talk a little about checking my cards and the shipping option, and I've been doing it all wrong for all these years. So hopefully you guys can learn from my mistake. And then we're going to finish up with the Wrapper Redemptions. Well, let's get into it. So we're only a couple races into this 2020 season, and like I said, we should be going back to racing, I think, without fans in the end of May in Charlotte, actually. But just to recap this year, we had two Gander Outdoor Truck Series results, which Daytona with Grant Enfinger, and then in Las Vegas, Kyle Busch. And we've talked about their rookie cards, so I won't go into great detail with that. And then Xfinity, we've run 4 races before the halt, And we had Daytona with Noah Graskin, and we talked about him, in Las Vegas with Chase Briscoe. Fontana with Harrison Burton. Now, we've talked about him before in the truck, but he's moved up and doing well. And then in Phoenix, Brandon Jones won. I don't know if we talked about Brandon Jones, but his rookies are in 2016. I know he's in, I know for sure, certified. I'm drawing a blank. Torque. Thank you. And then in the Cup level, Daytona was Denny Hamlin, Las Vegas, Joey Logano, Fontana, Alex Bowman. We've talked about him. He won a race last year. And then in Phoenix, Joey Logano won again. So I know NASCAR is talking about trying to run all the races this year, so we'll see how that goes. I know I've been hearing some rumblings with the teams, the Cup teams, the race teams, that, they had to furlough some of their folks and trying to get them back to start ramping up. So I'm super excited about some real racing here. So, and let's move into the next segment. I saw some rumblings about folks were asking, because Panini really doesn't release the number of products or the product names they're going to produce this year. I guess it was 2 years ago we had 5 products, and then last year they cut it down to 4. I'm always looking to see what products are going to be released or produced instead of waiting to the last minute. So I reached out to somebody over at Panini. They confirmed that we have 2020 Donruss. They're going to produce Chronicles this year, which is a product I'm not familiar with, Prism, and National Treasures, which I don't know, Jason, if you have any experience with Chronicles. What kind of product is that?
So Panini has made Chronicles for the past couple of years for basketball and baseball. I don't believe they've made it for football. Now I'm starting to doubt myself, but definitely for basketball and baseball. So it's one of my favorites. It's just an interesting thing, and I feel like it's not the same box repetitively. Sometimes you buy a box to say Top Series 1 baseball, or 90% of the cards look the same, and it kind of gets a little boring after a while. Chronicles is interesting because it's several sets in one, and it's a way for Panini to release multiple brands, per se, by only releasing one product. So what they'll do is, for example, basketball last year, Chronicles, some of the brands that were in that box included Luminance, Essentials, Marquee, Gala, Titanium, and Crusade. So it's kind of what they'll do is there's a base Chronicles set, but then there's all these others, like say for Titanium, and I don't know the numbers offhand, but say for Titanium, there was a 50-card set. And then for Gala, there was another 50-card set. So it's kind of like you get, multiple brands in one. It would be almost like buying a box from Topps that came with Base, Chrome, Heritage, Big League, and Opening Day all in the same pack, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. How is the numbering? Is the one brand numbered, like, say, 1 to 50, and then the other one's numbered 1 to 50, or is it 51 to 100?
I knew you were going to ask me that, but I believe each one is its own individual. So, like, say Kyle Busch has a card in each of the Chronicles brands that come in the box. He would have, maybe one that was number 1 in the Gala set, but one that was number 4 in the Ascension set. It wouldn't be like he was 1 and then 57 and then 101. I think it's kind of like 1 to 50, 1 to 50, 1 to 50, and then so on.
Okay. So that's really cool.
And actually, when it first comes out, Chronicles is a pretty decent price. 100, 125 a box, something like that. And usually it's 3 hits per box. It's not a terrible price. But in the past, at least with the baseball and basketball, it never went down after it came out. So
okay.
I don't know if that's a Chronicles thing or if we just had really good rookie classes in baseball and basketball, which we have the past couple of years.
So I guess it's not rookie heavy. It's or is it like normal rookies?
It's both.
Okay. So is it possible that if they're in one, they're not in another?
It shouldn't be, because I'm trying to think, because I bought a lot the year that Luka Doncic was a rookie, and then 18 when it was Soto and Glaber and Acuna, and it seemed like they were in every one. So like if the baseball one had 10 different sets, there was a Soto in every single one of them. And then, of course, all the parallels that come with it.
Oh, okay.
So say, I'm blanking, who's a rookie this year for 2020 racing, he would have, say, 10 different rookie cards that could possibly come out of Chronicle that are technically 10 different brands.
Okay.
It's confusing, but once you open it, you kind of see that it's like, oh, I got 5 cards from this brand and 5 cards from that brand. You have to buy, if you're a set builder, you'll hate it. But if you're collecting for variety, you'll love it.
Okay. Yeah, when you were saying that, I was thinking of like our normal sets for racing, because it's not heavy on the Xfinity and truck guys. It's heavy on the Cup drivers. There will be a bunch of subsets in a regular racing set.
Right.
So I can kind of see some of that, but swapping it around for car design or something. So that's really interesting.
And it makes me wonder, to me, it's a genius way for the brands or the manufacturers to have more brands than they're probably allowed, or more releases, because, correct me if I'm wrong, and if you know, I believe we're only allowed so many releases per, like Panini's only allowed, say, 23 football products, or, whatever the number is. But this is kind of a way for them to not necessarily sneak in some of those brands, but in a case where NASCAR, they're only making 4 or 5 products a year, this is a great way for them to sneak in, trying to think of you.
So when you were saying that, I was thinking of, okay, so Torque was one that's been produced but hasn't been produced in a couple of years.
Prime. Yep.
Prime. Certified.
Yep.
So
I would imagine all these brands, probably a couple new ones, are going to be in this Chronicles.
That's really cool.
So it's kind of like Prime went away as a standalone, but it'll probably be in this. I would say Torque, Select, and you said another one, I thought.
Certified.
Certified. I would guarantee that they're all going to be in Chronicles.
That's really cool.
And then I would say they'll probably add a couple. I would love to see, I don't know if you are familiar with the products, but like Luminance. I love that card design, and I would love to see them take it to NASCAR. And it would also be a new product in a sense as well. So I'm pretty pumped about Chronicles for racing.
Yeah, like I said, not having a lot of experience with it, and when I heard or read that it was going to be released,
the best thing I can say is watch a box break.
Yeah. Panini's been trying with these sets, and I guess trying to find some traction, having taken over the license. That first year in 2016, they didn't produce any Donruss, but since then, Donruss has been like the consistent brand across every year. Prism, with the addition of Prism, this will be, there's 2016, but no Prism in 17, they put Select in. So from 18, this will be the 3rd year in a row for Prism. So there's some consistency there. I think as card collectors, and you can tell me what you think, you want some consistency. If you were doing baseball, Topps base is, goes back to 1951, 52, if you want to split hairs there. But, so trying to get that consistency where folks are trying to get the parallels and then, trying to go after that brand. So I'm super excited about Prism, and then National Treasures. That's kind of out of my wheelhouse.
Same here.
Not that it's a bad product, but it's just something that with family, kids, being married, and everything else with a 401k and other stuff, that's kind of out of my wheelhouse. So,
thinking about it with the Chronicles, and because Panini does release such a limited number of products for NASCAR, it's surprising to me that they didn't do Chronicles sooner, because I know at least for baseball, it goes back to 2018, maybe even 17. So they've missed at least 2 years where they could have, kept Prism in that year that it was missing and then thrown Select into something like Chronicles and not, had that missing spot or that hole that you're talking about with the consistency. So I'll be really curious to see the reaction because there are so few products. I think the collectors will be really happy about it. I think this one will probably dry up really fast. I think it'll be a slow, but it'll be like once people see and realize what it is. Because like you were saying, you collect other sports, but you're not familiar with it because you're more of a NASCAR collector. And I think you're not the only one like that. So I feel it'll be like a slow start at first, but once they realize, I think it'll dry up really fast.
Yeah, I'm like I said, looking forward to it. It's going to have a little bit of sounds like something for everybody. I think the majority of racing collectors are driver specific, so it gives them multiple brands inside of one brand. Right. You're doing a break, right? This is, I guess, not geared towards a breaker, but you're going to get base cards and parallels of your driver, and it could be across all kinds of different stuff. So,
yep, exactly.
As opposed to getting in, say, like a Prism, you're going to get Prism and the parallels, but with the Chronicles, you're going to get in and use multiple brands inside of that one brand. So that sounds really cool. I think this would be probably big for breakers, maybe.
Yeah, it's a good one for sure. Yeah.
And I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been talking about the 2018 Prism, and I think it was Blowout. One of them went up on their price per box there, $5 a box. So that was kind of interesting, I guess, with this quarantine or self-isolation thing, that people have been buying up wax, giving them something to do in breakers. So it's got that, Haley Deegan. And I guess it's going to be, time will tell if it's going to be the 2018 Prism that everybody's going to go after or the 2018 Victory Lane. And that was the other thing, too, Jason. Now you said about the Chronicles going back. Victory Lane, no Victory Lane this year, but that's a way for them to put Victory Lane in Chronicles.
Yeah, absolutely. I would imagine that one will be in there, too. I feel like there's another one that we're missing, but I don't know. Maybe we'll think of it eventually.
Because in the first year, it was Prism, Torque, Certified, I think National Treasures, and then 17 Select, Donruss, Torque again. So,
okay.
But super excited. And then Jason, I learned something. I guess I'm a little embarrassed. I've been using Check Out My Cards for I guess a few years now, and I've used it to buy cards and kind of flip, and it helps me if I see a bargain or something that I think is underpriced that I'll buy and bump up or whatever, and then when that sells, use those proceeds and maybe buy something bigger. I don't know if you were collecting, but I guess it was about, I don't know if it was 10 years ago. There was this, not a gimmick, but these people would be like, all right, I'm going to work on a 1952 mantle, and I want to start with like a common card. And then they would take that common card, and then somebody else would trade them something for that. And you would, have these little incremental bumps. And
and I've seen that, and I've seen other non-card related things where people have done it and started with like a paper clip and traded somebody for something bigger and, kept going. So, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right. So I guess where I'm going with is, I look at checking my cards, it's kind of like that, right? So I was like, well, I want to give me something big. You can do it by making all these little sales. And I guess I've been doing some e-pack and stuff like that. And I noticed when I ship the e-pack stuff home, it's an extra 25 cents. And I thought it was just an e-pack thing. But then when I, sent some stuff in to check my cards, they list it, they get that 25 cents. So it didn't dawn on me that that's controlled. When you purchase something, that 25 cents is built in. But if you go in and change so there's something called simplified shipping mode and advanced reselling mode. And I'm sure you know about this already.
I do. But the funny part is what we were talking about before we started recording is I had listened to Sports Card Radio about check out my cards, and he would say, I buy every, say, Jeter or Jordan that pops up for less than 10 cents. So I would go and check out my cards, and I'd be like, I don't ever see cards for less than 10 cents. I usually see them in the 30s, like 32 cents or whatever, and kept thinking, I don't know what this guy's talking about. So I finally asked him, and he was the one that told me that you need to go switch it from simplified to advanced reselling mode. So you're not alone. You're just a couple years later than me. I think I figured it out probably 6 years ago, but it took me a while, and I finally just had to ask somebody.
And I think I knew that was there, but I figured, okay, well, if I'm buying it at this higher price or whatever, when I go to resell it, I'm making that money back. And I wasn't buying, a lot of stuff. So, and then I either forgot about it or whatever. And then, to your point, I was like, well, let me revisit this. And like I said, I'm kind of embarrassed, but if I can help other folks, and I guess it was always there, like I said, with the e-pack and some of that other stuff. I just thought that was, part of doing business, but then realized that you can change that. So if you go in to check my cards, everybody, and you can pause this and we'll wait a second. Okay. Now that you're back, you go into your check out my cards, my dashboard, and then you'll see profile and options. And then you want to go to the outgoing offers. So that's my dashboard, profile and options, outgoing offers. And there's a thing called buying mode. You want to be in the advanced reselling mode. And it says, if you are a typical if you are a typical buyer, we recommend simplified shipping mode. This will streamline your buying experience and make you pay an extra 25 cents. I put that verbiage in. If you are a seller that is interested in buying and relisting cards, aka flipping, we recommend advanced reselling mode. Items purchased in advanced reselling mode do not qualify for flat rate shipping or other shipping promotions. So that's kind of the thing. And so, and I guess when I was doing my e-packs, that I was like, well, I'm going to be doing this, and I wanted to save and on that selling. But I shipped some stuff, but you're going to pay that no matter what. So everybody should be in advanced selling mode. I don't know of any advantage to being in the regular mode. Do you?
Well, so I think we need to backtrack a little bit because I think we didn't explain. We explained what you need to do, but I don't think we explained why. So it's, refresh me, it's simplified.
Mm-hmm. Simplified and advanced. Now, okay. When I ship my e-pack, and I'm assuming this is the reason, if you're in advanced, you're going to pay this for everyone and not just the ones you buy from the site. So you're going to pay this 25 cents. It's just you're going to pay it one way or the other. So if you pay to ship Correct. Your cards, you're still going to pay it, and you're going to pay more than the $3.99 because it's $3.99 plus 25 cents per item, and then if you add a top loader or whatever else, that's on top of that. But to my knowledge, by being in a simplified shipping mode, you're going to pay the same amount. You're just going to pay it at when you go to ship it.
Right. So, for example, if you're in simplified mode and that card is for sale at 30 cents, you pay 30 cents and then you pay $3.99 shipping for all of your cards that you bought in simplified mode. If you are in advanced mode, that card will be 5 cents. You pay 5 cents to buy it, and then you can either resell it or you can have it shipped to you. However, if you have it shipped to you, you will pay $3.99 shipping plus 25 cents for that card that you bought in the advanced reselling mode. So it's like exactly what Val said. It's just, do you want to pay it now or pay it later? The confusing part is, somebody like me, I buy some stuff to flip and I buy some stuff for me. And I'm in the situation right now where I did not change it back and forth. So I bought, and I didn't do it on purpose because to me it's a pain, but I am now at the point where I have 200 cards that I want to get shipped home. Some I bought in simplified and some I bought in the advanced, but my shipping total was like $16. And it's not a huge amount of cards. It's like, 150, 200, but it's like, oh, that $16, it kind of sucks. But I knew it was going to come eventually. So instead of paying $4 right now, I'm going to have to pay like $16 or $17 to have my stuff shipped to me.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I ran into early on. Yeah, so I learned that the hard way by doing the e-pack and collecting that compendium set, like 800 cards, and then when I went to go ship it, I thought, oh, all right, for $3.99. No, it's $3.99 plus 25 cents per card. There's 800 cards. And that was one of the reasons why I started kind of flipping cards on Check My Cards. I'm trying to get the whole set shipped to me and try to use some of the proceeds from the flipping to get that. So I don't know how many people have a full physical complete set of compendium, but that's what I'm working on. I got about halfway done. But again, I was doing this advanced reselling mode wrong, and it's something everybody should reevaluate if they're going to flip. So
yeah, I believe there are a ton of videos on YouTube, and I don't know if Colin from NascardRadio has actually done any, but I would definitely recommend watching a couple tutorials. They also send out emails pretty frequently from Check Out My Card with some tips here and there. And then also just Sports Card Radio, some of his older podcasts about Check Out My Cards, he does give a lot of tips. You might not like him sometimes, but he does give a lot of tips. And, I can say from firsthand experience, I learned a lot from him because it's definitely confusing. It's not eBay. It's a different model, but once you spend a little time getting to know it, it's pretty effective and pretty beneficial.
Yeah, I definitely recommend everybody. I should have done the legwork earlier on, I guess, to make a final decision on that. But not that it was a problem. Again, that those 25 cents are baked in. So, but it'll come out one way or the other. It's just less upfront. So, but definitely everybody do their homework and reevaluate that. So, well, then finally we're going to talk about the 2020 Donruss and the Wrapper Redemption, which is the Retail Wrapper Redemption.
Yeah, and I don't think it was really announced at first. I stumbled upon it at a Target. I had opened the one hobby box, and you had opened, your hobby boxes. I hadn't opened any retail, and I just happened to be looking at the box at Target, and it said Save Your Wrappers, and I thought, oh, my God, I already threw all my stuff away. But come to find out, it's a retail-only wrapper redemption. It's pretty simple, and it's not too bad, but you can get a 5-card pack of Red Mojo parallel cards. You need 20 retail wrappers, which are probably going to be from the blaster boxes, I would imagine. But you need 20 retail wrappers and $4.95, and the address is on the Panini blog to send in. But I think you get a 5-card pack, of Red Mojo cards, and actually, if you look on eBay, there's only 10 or 11 completed auctions. So either there's a few things. People don't know about it, which is, I would suspect, is probably the most likely reason. People don't know about it. There's not a lot of retail out there to be purchased, which I haven't seen a ton myself, or there could be some of the shutdown going on right now with all the COVID stuff. So I would advise people to get some of these retail wrappers and these blaster boxes as soon as they can. There's not a print run, but it does say all supplies last, and with all the craziness going on, it's hard to tell how long these things will be available.
Yeah, so you get, I believe, 7 packs per blaster box. So you need at least 3.
Yeah.
3 blasters. You know, friend of the show, King NASCAR, he had some pictures on Twitter where I don't know how many blasters he opened, but he's got quite a bit of wrappers. So when I opened up the Walmart blasters, they had the orange cards, and those are really cool. I think blue are in the Target, but these reds, I'd imagine they're all the Prism optics, so they're going to be really cool. So I need to find some more blasters. And I guess to your point, you know, how much people going to Walmart right now, and how much are they restocking? You know, it's not like when I go to Walmart, I have the tray of Prism, the tray, well, if you can find it, the tray of base. You know, there's no tray of Donruss Racing. So I think there were 3 or 4 at my Walmart. They finally had them. So I don't know how.
I think these are going to be really tough. And I think it's going to be 4 or 5 years later, and people are going to go like, "Oh, I should have done that."
You know, I think they're really nice. I'm a big fan of the optic. This is the second year now that optic's been in Donruss, and I've been looking at the older Prism sets and the parallels. I think, you know, racing. You know, we talked about before about the gap between releases that gives you time to go back and maybe set collectors and stuff. So I've been playing with the idea of going back and, you know, doing the 2016, maybe one of the colors, or, you know, working on some of these colored parallels. So I think to your point, you know, in a few years, because I know racing does not have the print run that the other sports do.
No, not at all.
And that's why I think racing, there's a lot of value in it. And we talked before that, you know, when the racing products come out, they're at, you know, retail price. And then if you wait a couple of weeks or months, they drop. And I don't know of any product offhand that is selling for more than what originally sold for. So I'm sure the distributors don't like that. I'm sure the card shops don't like that. But as a collector, you know, if you're on a fixed budget, racing is definitely an option. So,
well, you have to look at it just from the strictly numbers standpoint of the product has been out 2 months, 3 months.
Yeah, early February.
So we're at least at 2 months, and there are only 11 sold auctions, or 11 completed sold auctions, whatever, on eBay. I mean, 2 months, if this was a football thing, it would be 1,100. You know, so you're looking at NASCAR having 11. I think people need to really jump on this fast and at least get the wrappers while you can. Maybe you can't send them in yet, or maybe they're not redeeming, but boxes are going to dry up super fast, I feel like.
Yeah, this might be something where, you know, Blowout, Steel City, Dave and Adams, when they sell, you know, those Donruss blasters, you know, they again, I don't know what the print run is and when they being Panini sell out,
right,
and they stop. So,
right.
But I was actually toying with the idea of, because I really like the optic, you know, looking for 2019 Donruss blasters when they drop in price for the optics. So, but one thing I was going to say is, just imagine if you got one of those 5-card packs and you pulled the Haley Deegan.
But yeah, Haley Deegan was not one of the ones that was on eBay yet, so.
I'm sure there are so many people that are collecting her, and rightfully so. And the other one I was thinking of is Derek Krause. He's another rookie, rated rookie. So in this year, last year they didn't do that with the rated rookies. They mopped up Richard Petty and Danik and the rest of them. But, this year they have, I think, like 6 or 7 rated rookies in it. So as well as your normal stars. And I'm looking at the little ad or whatever it is. If you just Google it, 2020 DONRUSS Racing Redemption, you'll see the image. And like I said, I remember them releasing on a blog, and I had seen it. I thought I had told you about it, but I guess not. Like I said, it's only a retail thing, so I guess we'll have to work on that. And so did you say you already threw away your wrappers?
Yeah, but they were hobby boxes anyway, so.
Oh, okay. So you're good.
I just saw the Savior wrappers, and I thought, oh my God, I never thought it would be retail only, which is smart, and I can't imagine that, at least for a little while, these things are going to stay probably at the $20 range, especially for Steel City and Blowout and them, until it's announced that all the redemption packs are gone. But I can't imagine there's more than 25 of each card.
Really?
Yeah, I don't see it. I mean, especially for NASCAR. But it'll be interesting once they finally release it. So,
yeah, I'd be curious to see how much they made of it. But now I need to go out and try to find two more blasters so I can get.
Oh yeah, for sure.
At least get the 3 blasters so you can get the Wrapper Redemption,
Right.
Oh, and also, as a side note, if you are buying a 2020 DONRUSS product, make sure you're getting your VIP codes and putting them in. Like last year, it's not only the main VIP prize, there's also, I think, monthly prizes or weekly prizes. You can actually go back and look at last year's, I can't remember the website offhand, but I went and looked and saw that and searched for my name. I saw where I had won twice with the code. So, there's other stuff. I think it was a shirt, and I don't know what else I won, but so those are in the 2020 DONRUSS as well. So they don't expire, I think. So I don't know if you put your codes in yet. You opened your hobby box?
I've saved them.
So I'm almost wondering if you kind of wait after the wave, right? Because everybody's getting them and they're putting them in now, and then it might be a low, and then putting them in later. So I don't know if from what's per month or per week or whatever it is and how they do that. But anyway, it doesn't cost anything to you other than time. You just go to the website, enter the code, and I think you put your email address in, and you're good to go. So I guess, Jason, if you don't have anything else, we're going to wrap it up for today.
Nope, we can wrap it up.
Well, I enjoyed it as usual. Just trying not to wait so long for another show. But a lot of stuff has happened then, and I apologize for all our listeners. I appreciate you, listening. It is something we do because we enjoy the sport and love collecting cards. So, but until next time, thanks for listening.